Oh my lord. I know what those chords mean. It means I was 30 seconds off on the timer. Because the show has started. I don't have a light on either. Oh my god. That's too bright. Too bright. Okay. Today's going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. This is... Oh my god. It's all messed up because the power's been out. I'm just realizing this. No wonder it's so dadgum bright. Anyway, Judge Anzalone, she had a really crazy day the other day. It was interesting to say the least. Not sure how many people have seen the P. Diddy side of things, but the very end of this video is going to feature a civil case, which is in fact actually directed towards Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, and all other dozen aliases that they will list at that point in time. But first, she has a whole criminal docket that is all interesting on top of everything else. It was a little bit longer, but there was a CSC case that I just had to get rid of. And in case you see some strange, like, popping around of boxes and stuff and you're wondering, like, what the hell is going on? Well, I just decided to disappear that guy from my video altogether. I just didn't even want his face tainting it. So that happened. And here we are now. And we're about to enjoy some Judge Anzalone together, because I got news for you guys. This is some pretty good stuff. If you missed the docket, it really was quite interesting. Let's dig in, shall we?
All right, Mr. Rmer, there he is. Step up to that podium. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Brandon Joel Babino. Somebody came from Louisiana or from Canada. It's French, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
24-21851FH. And Michael Dagger-Margosian appearing on behalf of Mr. Babino. And I have Mr. Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. Okay, so I do have a note from Darren Coast dated August 5 of 2024. On April 5 of 2024, Mr. Babino was ordered to do 2 times a week drug testing as part of his bond conditions. He got out of Jackson County Jail on June 14th and never set up for testing. Mr. Babino, I am going to order that you have a test done today.
That's fine.
And then you need to speak with Mr. Coast today, and you have to set that up. I know you live in Jackson, so you can set it up in Jackson, all right?
Okay, yeah, that's.
Okay, so when we're done here today, Mr. Coast will meet you in the hall. Okay, so Mr. Dagger-Margosian, how do you wish to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Babino?
Your Honor, I was trying to get in touch with Mr. Babino. I was unsuccessful in that, but I can relay what the plea offer is, and I believe it's what him and I had talked about, what we were trying to accomplish anyway. So just for the court and Mr. Babino, the plea offer in speaking with Ms. McClure on this matter is, and I think the court should have an amended information. The plea offer is that Mr. Babino would plead guilty to a reduced charge of controlled substance possession, the 4-year felony. In exchange for that, it would be a dismissal of the drug doubler enhancement. Further, there'd be an agreement for no upfront jail. There is not an agreement for 7411, nor is there an agreement for 771.1. And lastly, both myself and Ms. McClure would be okay with a probation transfer to Jackson if allowable.
Okay, so plead guilty to the count 2, dismiss count 1, and then no upfront jail. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay, I also have a motion and affidavit to show cause for failure to set up the drug testing. So, Mr. Coast, if you could come now, do you mind going to do a drug test now?
Well, that's fine.
If you're clean, I'll dismiss the contempt of court. If you're not, we'll proceed on it. Is that all right, Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Coast, I'm gonna have him step out in the hallway and meet with you, and then we'll come back in. All right, Mr. Babino? All right, thank you. All right, so let me get your file. And you are Mr. Rmer?
Yes, I am.
All right, you want to go step up to the podium?
All right.
All right, so Ms. Underwood, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mario Cornelius Rmer, file number 2023-21339 FH, and Brenda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Rmer, and I have Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. So, Ms. Underwood, I know that you had time to speak to your client, right?
Yes,
And how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, unfortunately, the independent has not been completed yet. So I'm I left a message for the doctor and I will get some update on when that is going to occur. But we would ask for probably another 60 days, Your Honor, to put this out so we can
Get
get
that.
that.
Okay, and where are you currently at?
I'm still in Marquette.
Marquette, okay. All right, okay. It's a great place to go on a vacation. You can go visit them. All right, so 60 days would take us to October 16th. Would that be all right?
October
16?
Yes,
All right,
thank you.
and you'll do the stip in order to adjourn?
I will, Your Honor, with Mr. Bayonetto's permission.
Yes.
All right.
that's fine.
Mr. Bayonetto, could you do it?
And I think I've asked before, do you want it early in the morning or you want it later in the day or in the morning? I could do like anytime from 8 to 11.
Morning's fine.
Okay, so we'll set that at 8:30 in the morning. So Mr. Rmer, hopefully they'll get a hold of you at the facility and be able to do that, and we'll get the report back and we'll see you back October 16th. And you want to come in person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have you back in person. Mr. Bayonetto, you'll do the writ of habeas corpus, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so
In
we are all
person,
set.
correct?
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, yep, thank you.
And I'll be,
There's a filtered water machine right out in the hallway. Okay.
I'll just go back and check on Ms. Miller, Your Honor.
Okay, and then let me check. Mr. Walti is in jail, so
Oh,
line.
we can do that now too.
I don't have him, but I'll call, but I can do Rmer because Shane Rmer.
It's a motion, Your Honor.
Okay, okay, just go check on this one. All right. Organized testing. Hi, this is Judge Anzalone. We are ready on Mr. Walti.
Okay, we'll get going.
All right, thank you.
You're up.
Is Michael Jackson adjourned, do you know?
Yes, I'll put that on record. Miss Adams, did we have a date for Mr. Jackson?
We do now have a date. It is September 4th at 8:30.
All right, so put that on the record. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Jackson, file number 2024-21853 FH, 24-21854 FH, 24-21870 FH, and 24-21871 FH. Those matters have been adjourned to September 4th at 8:30 in the morning. So, you here this afternoon, Mary?
Yes.
We also have a civil lawsuit against P. Diddy, Sean Combs. That's at 2:30.
You think he'll appear?
He was served.
Sweet.
I know.
Person.
No. Yeah, he was personally served. Sean Combs was, so that's at 2:30. All right, so we're just waiting for Miss Underwood and Mr. Babino. So I'm going to step off the bench for a moment. Please.
Yeah.
All rise.
Ms. Montalvo in here? Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I couldn't see you over the monitor, sorry. All right, you can sit down, thank you. All right, so stand at the podium. All right, this is in the matter of Mr. Dagger Margosian. Oh, you're not on this anymore. All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Autumn Nicole Montalvo, file number 24-21716FH. Ms. Montalvo, it's my understanding you turned yourself in this morning. Is that because your sister told you you had a warrant?
Jennifer did.
Jennifer did? Okay. And you're talking about Miss Walsh. All right, so we are here today on a request and warrant for probation violation. So Ms. Montalvo, it alleges that you violated term 21 of your probation terms, and that on May 17th of 24, you were sentenced to a term of probation, which included a condition of what, no contact with either an Aaron Pickle or a Justin Bowers. And the allegation is on July 30th of 24, you violated that condition when you were within 500 feet of them.
No, I have never.
Oh, hold on. So a violation of probation, this is a 2-year felony, so it could result in up to, if you were found guilty or pled guilty, up to 2 years in prison. Do you understand that? Is that a yes? Okay. And you do have the right to have an attorney represent you on this and all subsequent hearings. Would you like an attorney appointed to represent you? All right. So Ms. Walsh, do you have any more information about that allegation? Was it like at Walmart, Meijer, or like where was the?
Hold on just a second. It was on. It was on 541.5 South Center Street. She allegedly was watching some action that was going on that street.
That was my sister's.
That's your sister's house?
No, my sisters were watching. My sisters told me about it. And they said that.
Okay, so
Aaron
hold
had
on.
thought that I was there.
All right, so, okay, so Ms. Walsh, she's been on probation since, May of 24. Is that correct? And
Yes.
has she been doing well on probation?
She's done okay. She hasn't had an appointment.
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay, so I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty. Is that where Aaron Pickle and Justin Bowers live?
I'm assuming so. I don't know. Last I knew that they were living in Morenci on Locust Street.
Okay, okay, so what I'm gonna do, all right, so what she's saying, Ms. Walsh, is it wasn't her, but she's requested court-appointed counsel, and I need to appoint that. So she turned herself in. I've arraigned her. I've entered a plea of not guilty. I'm going to give her an extremely strict warning. Is there any objection to releasing her today?
No.
Okay. There wasn't any allegation of physical contact, correct?
Yeah.
Just.
There wasn't any direct contact that I'm aware of.
Okay. So Ms. Montalvo, I'm going to release you on a PR bond today. I'm going to give you a court-appointed attorney, and Ms. Underwood's super busy this morning. So I'll try to get her to talk to you this morning. So I'm going to release you. They'll take the handcuffs off you, but then I want you to have a seat here, okay?
Okay.
And stay in my courtroom.
Okay, could I get a court-appointed attorney other than Miss Underwood?
I don't control that. So Ms. Underwood is our court-appointed attorney that picks up our bucks. So
Okay.
so they have a chief public defender, and that's their job. So, all right, so I'm gonna release you on a PR bond right now so they can release you. Stay in my courtroom. And Miss Underwood will talk with you this morning, okay? Okay, and Miss Walsh will come back to her when Miss Underwood has time to talk to her, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Dagger Margosian,
Your Honor, on Miss
Babin.
on Miss Montalvo, I'm happy to step in if the court wants to handle that right now.
I would. So she's released from custody. Show me your hands are free. Okay. So step out in the hallway, go to the left, and there's a podium with a device on it. Are you done with her? Is she all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Log into Zoom. It has the instructions there. Log into Zoom and I'll put you in a breakout room with Mr. Dagger Margosian. Mr. Dagger Margosian, Miss, we sent that information. Miss Adams, did we send the information to the PD?
We did, but I just forwarded it to Mr. Dagger Margosian as well.
Okay. So who do I have joining me from the jail?
I'm Stephen Walti.
Okay, so we're here. Miss Underwood's got a couple cases going right now. So we'll be with you. And so you have Rhonda Underwood, you have Rhonda Underwood, he has Rhonda Underwood. Let me go check on. Okay, other than that, Mr. Dagger Margosian, do you have anybody?
Just Mr. Babino. Your Honor.
Oh, yeah, you saw. We had an inmate file a civil lawsuit against Sean Combs. Mr. Dagger Margosian.
Yeah, we got all the celebrities. I heard Michael Jackson, Diddy. We got a star-studded docket today.
Yeah, but they perfected service, so I have a motion on that today. So that's at like 2:30 or something. So
is the attorneys, are they going to play like a walk-up song like in baseball, like a PBD?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not allowed to play music in the courtrooms though. There's this really good band out of Detroit that I like, and they play Christmas in jail, and I always thought that would be a good one to play for like the Friend of the Court show causes. It's the Howling Diablos out of Detroit. They're so good, but I'm gonna go check on Rhonda. Logged in. I don't think they logged in yet. So, okay, let me check.
You talked to the judge, Rhonda?
Hmm?
The judge was kind of looking for you.
I'm sorry?
Did you run into the judge? She was looking for you, kind of. The judge, did you talk to the judge?
Which one?
Judge Anzalone.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, which
Okay.
case?
I don't.
Oh, I think we have Mr. Walti.
Yeah, judge, come on. All rise.
All right, Miss Underwood. All right, so Mr. Dagger, you can sit down. Mr. Babino is being tested right now. So, who do you want to start with?
We can start with Mr. Walti, Your Honor.
Right. Okay, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Stephen Richard Woltice, file number 24-21734FH. This is a date and time set for pretrial. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Woltice, and I have Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. So jury instructions were due back on July 31st. This is a date and time set for pretrial. There is a trial date scheduled on August 14. But I understand there's an issue, Miss Underwood.
Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we've had some issues. Mr. Waltice, I requested forensic on a case downstairs, Your Honor. We're awaiting the results of that. Mr. Walters, did the doctor see you last week by Zoom?
Yes.
Yes, he did. So we would be asking.
Did you do a forensic request on this file as well?
I did not, Your Honor.
Because it doesn't apply. You would have to do it on both.
Okay, I will. That obviously came after their later files, Your Honor.
Yeah, so if you did a forensic on the underlying file, then they won't forensic him on this file unless there's a separate order.
Okay.
So you
I
making
think
that,
maybe the first forensic will tell me
okay.
what I need.
So it takes what, about a month to get a report out?
Probably.
All right, and they came and saw you, Mr. Walters?
Via Zoom.
Okay, okay. So why don't we set this out to like October?
Okay.
And take the trial off the docket?
Okay.
All right, so, I mean, because it's concerning, because if he's found not competent, we don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna write in here. District Court Forensic. All right, so Miss Underwood and Mr. Bayonetto, I'm going to set this over to October. But Mr. Walters, if we get the report back from the district court file, Miss Underwood will discuss it with whoever the prosecutor is, and it may have bearing on this case, even if there's not a forensic, which would either require us to request a forensic on my file as well, or the prosecutor can deal with it in an appropriate manner. So I'm going to set this for pretrial. Let's do October 16. So I'll set it for pretrial on October 16 of 24 at 8:30 in the morning. And then I'm going to cancel the 8/14 trial date.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. All right. So Mr. Walters, good luck and we'll see you back in. But understand, Miss Underwood may bring you back much sooner, okay?
Yes, Steve.
May I talk to my attorney for a minute, please?
Not right now because she has a bunch of cases backed up. So, but she will come talk to you, okay?
Like,
all right, thank you.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm completely confused.
Okay, we're just waiting to get the report from the doctor that zoomed in with you, okay?
All I'm trying to ask is I was set to tether to my parents' house. If it's all right with my parents, I stayed here because my mom had cancer surgery. Am I still able to tether back to my parents' house since the court's
that's a separate motion I can't address today. So talk to your attorney.
I'll be over to talk to you. I did talk to your dad. I'll be over to talk to you.
Pull the mic down. Pull your mic down. It's way up there for tall people. All right, so Mr. Walters, she'll come talk to you. She did talk to your dad and she'll come talk to you, all right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so, all right, so Mr. Babino, okay, he's out there testing. I had a pickup and Mr. Daggermark goes in and took it for you.
Oh,
okay.
Who was that, Your Honor?
Autumn Montalvo.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
All right, so, and you'll do this step in order to adjourn on Walters?
Yes.
Okay, so do we want Miss Miller or who do you want next?
Miss Miller, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so this is in the matter of people of the state of Michigan versus Mackenzie Ricole Miller. We have two files, 22-20935FH, and we have 24-21725FH. One is a violation of probation, if I am correct.
Probation, yeah, that's
yeah, and one is a pretrial. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mackenzie Miller, and I have Alexander Bayanetto appearing on behalf of the people. So, were you able to find the information you needed?
Well, the plea offer, Your Honor, is that Ms. Miller would plead guilty on file 21725 FH to a reduced charge of larceny under $200, Your Honor.
Okay, so repeat the file number again.
I'm sorry?
The new file, 21725,
Yes,
plead guilty to what count?
to one count of larceny, to an added count of larceny under 200, Your Honor, a 93-day misdemeanor. She would also plead to 93-day misdemeanors on district court files 240107 and 232530.
Ms. Montalvo, you can come back in.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Shut
welcome.
this off.
I got it. Don't worry about it. Oh, sure did it. Good job. All right, so she's gonna plead on some district court files, and then there's going to be an amended information on file number 24-21725, adding a second count. So count 2, larceny less than $200, which is a 93-day misdemeanor. Is that correct, Mr. Bayanetto?
It is, Your Honor, yes.
All right, and then she can plead to the violation of probation.
The violation of probation, I believe Ms. Miller will plead guilty to an appropriately worded one, Your Honor, since
All
the
right.
one Alex is
All right.
alleging.
Ms. Walsh, can we amend that to say that the defendant pleaded guilty to one count of larceny less than 200? You're muted, by the way. I can't hear you if you're talking to me.
Yes.
I apologize, Your Honor. Ms. McClure's getting ready to come up to finish the docket. I have an exam at 11.
Oh, I guess it's almost 11. Okay. All right, thank you. But is that a correct recitation of the plea, Mr. Bayanetto?
It is, Your Honor, yes.
All right, she's on her way right now?
She is on her way up, yeah. I can finish the plea. It's not a problem.
So, Ms. Miller, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, so you've heard, you can put your hand down. You've heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty on your new file 24-21725 FH to account 2 larceny less than 200, which is a 93-day misdemeanor, as well as to an amended violation of probation, which would be pleading guilty to larceny less than 200, and then the second one was failing to report police contact to your probation officer. Okay, are you satisfied with Ms. Underwood as your attorney and the advice that she's given you?
Yes.
All right. Neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed a possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Ms. Underwood?
It is, Your Honor.
Is that a correct statement, Mr. Bayanetto and Ms. McClure?
It is, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, and Ms. McClure is here if you need to go, Mr. Bayanetto.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So, Ms. Miller, if a guilty plea is accepted on these 2 counts, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up your rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them, okay? Ms. McClure, you can sit up here.
Did he just log off?
He just logged off,
Okay,
so
sorry
you're
about
it
that.
now. All right, you have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand if your pleas are accepted, you will be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial. Okay, and do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? All right, can you speak up a little bit? And you can approach the microphone a little bit more too. She doesn't bite. All right. And let's see, I don't know if I said this, but if you're not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States or of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
I don't.
All right, so we're gonna start on the new file. So on file number 24-21725FH, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about November 19th of 2023? Where does Alex Purdue work?
Lenawee County Sheriff's Department.
All right, well, that doesn't help me then. I don't have, it just says Lenawee and Lenawee. I don't know why.
What charge is it?
B&E of a motor vehicle.
I believe Adrian Township.
Okay, so did this occur in Adrian Township in the county of Lenawee?
Yes,
Okay, so you're in Adrian Township in the county of Lenawee.
yes.
All right, and how do you plead to the charge then that you committed the offense of larceny? Is it larceny from a motor vehicle less than 200, or just larceny?
Just larceny.
Larceny less than 200, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Right, and then on the violation of probation, how do you plead to the charge that you violated, I don't know, it's. Okay, for some reason, my Polycom likes to share screens just randomly, I don't know why. So how do you plead to the charge that you violated your terms of probation by pleading to the charge of larceny less than 200, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And then how do you plead to failing to notify Ms. Walsh of police contact within 24 hours, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay, so has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to any of these charges?
No.
Do you understand if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Ms. Underwood?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. McClure?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you have to be quiet in the courtroom, so just be quiet for a minute, all right? Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right, so ma'am, let's go back. So on November 19th of 23, were you in Adrian Township in the county of Lenawee?
Yes.
All right, and at that time, did you steal something from a car that had a value less than $200?
Yes.
Did you know whose car it was?
I don't.
No, and was it money, debit card, what'd you take?
Money.
Okay, all right, and you didn't know whose car it was, you had no right to take it.
Right.
And when you took it, your intent was to deprive the owner of that value.
Yes.
All right, so for restitution purposes, the value with these, if the items weren't returned, you understand you might owe more restitution
Yes.
than $200. Okay. Are you satisfied with the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Ms. Underwood?
It has.
Ms. McClure?
It has.
All right, and then we'll need that amended information on that file.
You do?
still.
So-
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then on the violation of probation, you just pled guilty to larceny less than 200, is that correct?
Yes.
And then when you had police contact on that day, you did not report it on November 20th to Ms. Walsh, is that correct?
I did not.
All right, I accept that plea as well. They've been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. She has full knowledge of her rights. She does have competent counsel. This court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defendant, the defense attorney, or anyone else acting in the interest of any of them. I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department, and I'm going to set sentencing for September 20 at 8:30 in the morning. And do you want to appear in person or Zoom? You're always here in person. Okay, so that'll be in person. So Ms. Walsh is going to do a pre-sentence report for the new case and a probation violation report. So Ms. Walsh, when do you want her to report to you? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
She already knows when to come in. And are we doing the pre-sentence if it's a misdemeanor?
Oh, no, you won't. You'll have to do the misdemeanor downstairs. All right, so you're gonna report to Ms. Walsh as ordered to do the violation of probation. Next Thursday, not today, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, you need to report to the district court probation department because it's a misdemeanor you pled to. And see Mike McCarron, do you know him? So ask to see Mike. He'll set up a time to meet with you to do a pre-sentence report. Be truthful with them about your background, the events that occurred, and then we'll see you back on September 20th at 8:30. Call Miss Underwood about a week in advance and review the PSI with her. Miss Adams, Miss Miller is present. Can I get a notice of hearing for sentencing for her?
Yes, Judge. Did we discuss if that was in person?
Yes.
I mean, okay.
It's in person. Yep. Okay, so we are all set. Have a seat right behind you. And then Miss Adams will get that notice. Hold on. Okay. All right, Mr. Dagger Margosian, I have Mr. Coast back on Mr. Babino. Mr. Coast, would you, Mr. Babino, come on up, and Mr. Coast, what is the result?
Judge, prior to the test, I asked him if he was taking any medications. He indicated he was not. He did mention that he took or smoked marijuana this morning, that he has a medical marijuana card, but that he lost his card. That test did return positive for both THC and also meth. He's now indicating to me that he did take an Adderall just yesterday.
Okay. Do you have a prescription for Adderall?
No, I got.
Okay, that's all. Okay. So, Mr. Babino.
Yes, I was not.
Hold on, stop talking. Stop talking because you're just gonna dig yourself in a hole. All right, so Mr. Dagmar goes in. So he had stated he is not on any prescription drugs or medications at this time. He tested positive for marijuana. I don't have a medical marijuana card. Mr. Coast is gonna need to get that. And then he also tested positive for methamphetamine. Whether you use meth or Adderall is irrelevant at this point. So Mr. Dagmar goes in. I am not going to dismiss the contempt of court. How far did we get in this? I don't even think we took the plea yet, did we?
We didn't. I just outlined what the plea was.
Okay. Okay, so the plea is plead guilty to count 2 with no upfront jail, which is a 4-year felony and carries up to a $25,000 fine. And the contempt of court is that when he was released from the Jackson County Jail, he failed to set up 2 times a week drug testing. So those are the 2 allegations. So Mr. Babino, do you understand the plea offer is a plead guilty to count 2, which is a 4-year felony? And the contempt of court can carry up to 93 days in jail. Do you understand that? Okay. And did you have enough time to talk to Mr. Dagger Margosian? You haven't talked to him yet? No. Do you want time to speak with him, Mr. Dagger Margosian?
I would like to. I don't.
He wants to talk to you. All right. So I'm going to send him out in the lobby. Or Mr. Dagger Margosian, do you want me to set this for another day? I can do that.
The lobby is probably fine. I'll speak with him, and if we need a different day, we can set it for a different day.
Okay. So Miss Adams, I hate to bother you. Will you walk out with Mr. Babino just to make sure before it was spinning? So just make sure he can log on in the hallway. So Mr. Babino, go out in the hallway. You're going to log on to a Zoom device in the hallway to talk to Mr. Dagger Margosian, all right? And then you'll come back in. right, let's see, Ms. Montalvo, you want to come up to the podium?
Hello.
Hi, this is Judge Anzalone. I was wondering if I could get Mr. Thomas.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. I have window 3 open. I don't know if that matters.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, so we are back on the record in the matter of, back there. Autumn Nicole Montalvo, file number 24-21716FH. Mr. Dagger Margosian, thank you for taking an opportunity to speak with Ms. Montalvo. How would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, in speaking with Ms. Montalvo, as well as hearing the court go over the allegations and now receiving the allegations, I'm asking the court to schedule this violation of probation for a hearing, please.
All right. So, Ms. Walsh, how long will you need to get witnesses?
Not long. There will probably be.
I mean, I know I won't have anything in the super near future because I won't. It's probably gonna have to be September.
I will have. Let's see. I will have 3 or 4.
Can you list those for Mr. Dagger Margosian so you can write them down?
It will be Aaron Pickle, Justin Bowers.
I don't always have
Savannah
1 to 2 hours in my.
Bowers. And one more, but I need to get the name.
All right. Can you email that name to Mr. Dagger Margosian when you get it?
Yes.
Okay. So, I apologize. We are kind of backed up a little bit. October 24th from 8 to 9:30.
That's fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. We will do this 8 to 9:30. And do you want to be in person, Mr. Dagger Margosian?
Yes, Your
Probably
Honor.
be easier. All right, so this is going to be in person. And Miss Adams, could I get a notice of hearing from Miss Montalvo for October 24 at 8 AM for an hour and a half?
Yes.
Okay, so not the worst of bops, okay, but there's a couple things. Get a job. You got to get a job.
I have a job.
Good. And then you can do volunteer work to pay down your fines and costs. Ms. Walsh can help you with that. If you see them, run the other way, okay?
Will I be able to bring in my own witnesses for
Yeah.
the hearing?
Yeah.
Including the officer that spoke to my sisters that were there?
Yep, so you get the names of those witnesses to Mr. Dagger Margosian.
Okay, one of them would be when officer, so it.
You get those names to Mr. Dagger Margosian and he'll subpoena them.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so you need to call Mr. Dagger Margosian's office and set up an appointment to meet with him in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Okay? You have any questions? All right, so we released you on a PR bond and we will see you back on that day, okay? And remember to report to Ms. Walsh as ordered.
Like right now?
No.
When I'm supposed to report?
Normal report date. All right, thank you.
Pause. Timeout. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. I've got to do this. This is just funny. I super appreciate Mike doing this thing. Let's see if this works. Ah, look at this. Oh, nope.
That's for you claiming homelessness, sir. And so that would be a separate conversation that you would have.
I went to the shelter.
Mr. Daniels, Mr. Daniels, you need to listen, okay? I realize you're frustrated, but we got to kind of just work it through. So you may have made an appointment. Well, do this, Mr. Daniels, or your worker do this.
It's Wolfception.
Call Hawk again.
It's Wolfception.
Explain the
You're
exact
watching Lone Wolf,
circumstances that he's
watching
under right
Mike, watching Lone
now.
Wolf.
All right.
It's
In terms
great.
of that he doesn't have housing, as opposed to he's in housing and needs some other type of assistance, so that they're clear on that.
Vicky, hey
I
Victoria,
think that's
what's
what you're
up?
indicating, Amy, isn't it?
We're having a little bit
Okay.
of Lone Wolf
So I'm
inception
going to
right now.
ask you to make that other call to Hawk.
Law Talk with Mike is
that
watching one of
may
my
put you
videos,
into a
so I'm
different
watching Law Talk
category
with Mike.
of what
Watch
they
one
can
of my
do.
videos as kind of an
Okay.
intermission for my live stream.
Mr. Daniels,
Yes, sir.
do what I tell you to do. Do
Yes,
what
sir.
I tell you to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
We're set for next week at noon, in person.
That's next
All right?
Friday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Hang in, Mr. Daniels.
Now, can I get the police to go by and help me get something?
If you want to call the police, I don't know what they'll do. Hang on, where is this located?
Oh, wait.
Which is that the city?
Yes. I have, now, Ypsilanti police say I'm right. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Daniel,
I'm sorry.
hold on, please.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's the city. It's Washtenaw, north of Washtenaw, just west of Oakwood.
It's west of Oakwood. Okay.
Okay.
So that
I
sounds like
look.
the city to me.
This is
Okay.
completely
So,
unnecessary.
here's
I think most of us have seen this already. This is a great video. If you want to see this
What's
video,
clear to me
this
is
is
that
a great
if he's
video. And
filed
Mike
this
playing it
action-
and reviewing it is amazing. I think that's just awesome. That's just like, it's the coolest thing ever. So I had to showcase it. I'm like, it's not often that I see one of my videos on like one of.
I understand that.
Oh.
What is clear to you is that if he illegally locked him out, it's pretty nasty.
Okay.
I get it. I understand why.
Call the Ypsilanti Police Department.
Sympathy blinded. You proceed.
Tell them that you want a civil standby to get your medications and your.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Mike's, I'm gonna have to watch that later. Okay. I am completely distracted. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was doing my own thing, wasn't I? I wasn't. I'm really not here to watch Mike's video. Y'all want to finish watching Anzalone? Finish watching Anzalone, then we can all go over and check out what Mike was doing with my video. That's some cool stuff, isn't it? That's some really cool stuff. I'm really happy about that. All right. Back to Anzalone. Let me do some maintenance here. Here we go. Everybody ready? Okay. Back to Judge Anzalone. She's a great judge. I love Judge Anzalone.
Thank you, Mr. Dagger-Margosian.
Judge, can you have her wait
Oh,
to sign the
wait, you gotta
paperwork?
get your notice. Yeah, just have a seat right between those two attorneys. All right. Okay, so, Mr. Dagger-Margosian, you ready for Mr. Babino?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, come back up, Mr. Babino. Step up to the podium. All right, so Mr. Babino, you have now had a chance to speak with your attorney. All right, Mr. Dagger-Margosian, how do you wish to proceed on behalf of Mr. Babino?
Well, Your Honor, there's two matters to take. On the underlying case, we are ready to enter a plea to the plea as outlined. Regarding the contempt of court vis-a-vis the bond violation, I'm asking the court to set that matter for a hearing. I've also, there's sort of a larger issue of if that is indeed qualifies as a contempt of court. I'm happy to address that at the hearing as well.
Okay, all right. So he's gonna plead to count 2 with no upfront jail.
Correct.
And so you're arguing that violation of bond conditions potentially is not a contempt of court?
Correct. I agree that if the facts are laid out that it is a violation, it certainly would be a bond violation. I just don't know if that's if it qualifies as the greater quote unquote contempt of court. I know that district court does it. I was unaware that circuit court is starting to do these, but I can address that at the hearing.
Okay, we've always done these, so okay, we can address that later. Ms. McClure, any?
I mean, I thought a bond violation was a contempt of court, so I'm not sure what that means.
I'm gonna have him brief the issue.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Dagmar goes in, all right, so he's gonna plead today, and the plea offer is plead to count 2 with count 1 being dismissed and no upfront jail.
Yes, and we had talked about doing no upfront incarceration, which I will stick to even with the bond violation. I will say though, if he is sentenced on contempt of court to a couple days in jail, that that's, I don't believe a violation of the plea agreement that he get no upfront incarceration on the underlying.
Okay, so she's saying no matter what happens on the contempt of court, whether we continue with it or not, that doesn't impact the plea offer that she made. Mr. Dagmar goes in.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Babino, the alleged violation of your bond conditions is you failed to set up 2 times a week drug testing after getting out of the Jackson County jail on June 14th of 24. So I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty on that. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Dagmar goes in is gonna do a memo for me on whether or not he believes that is in fact a contempt of court. We'll provide that to Ms. McClure and she can respond. All right, so then on the underlying file, Mr. Babino, you heard your attorney and the prosecutor state that the plea offer in this matter is to plead guilty to count 2, controlled substance, possession of, it doesn't, look at the following information. It just, I'm assuming it's methamphetamine, but it doesn't say. So it just says possess less than 25 grams containing the controlled substance, other narcotic. But I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, so it would just, the factual basis would be that if he possessed a controlled substance or another narcotic that is a Schedule 1 or 2.
But it's a methamphetamine.
It was methamphetamine reduced to that charge.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So do you understand the plea offer is to plead guilty to controlled substance, possession of cocaine or methamphetamine less than 25 grams?
Yeah.
Okay, and you understand the maximum penalty of that offense could be up to 4 years in prison, but there's a plea offer that you would not do any upfront jail.
Yeah.
Okay, speak up for me, okay?
Yes.
Are you satisfied and is it your intention to plead guilty to that count?
Yeah.
Okay, are you satisfied with your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yeah.
All right. Neither the prosecutor, the defendant, or anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Mr. Dagmar?
Correct, Your Honor.
Ms. McClure?
Correct.
And as far as you're aware, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. If a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you have any, if you're not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization? Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No.
All right, sir, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about December 4 of 2022 in the city of Hudson in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of controlled substance possession less than 25 grams of another narcotic schedule 1 or 2? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this
No.
charge? Do you understand that if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. McClure?
No.
Oh, okay. Has your attorney, other than the plea agreement, promised you any sentence or estimated what your sentence will be in terms of fines, costs, probation?
No.
All right. Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Babino, on December 4 of 2022, we're in the city of Hudson in the county of Lenawee.
Yes.
And at that time, did you have in your possession, for the purposes of the plea, methamphetamine?
Yes.
All right. Did you know it was methamphetamine?
No.
What'd you think it was?
Cocaine.
Okay, seems to be a lot of that going around today. So, so you thought it was cocaine, but you later understand that it turned out to be methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Okay, which could have killed you.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had no legal right to possess even what you thought was cocaine, much less methamphetamine.
No.
Okay, and was it less than 25 grams?
Yes.
Okay, are you satisfied, Ms. McClure?
Yes.
All right. Has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Dagger-Margosian
Yes, Your Honor.
and Ms. McClure?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Adams, I'm going to set this for September 20th. So can I get a notice of hearing for in person on this one too for him? All right.
Yes.
The court has, I accept the plea. It's been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. He has full knowledge of his rights. He has competent counsel. This court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. We are going to set this for sentencing on September 20th at
Your Honor.
8:15.
I'm sorry, the September 20th date, that date doesn't, that's the trial date, I'm sorry.
Ms. Adams, do I have September 26th or 27 available?
I believe you have the book.
Those also, don't- is there any time in October, maybe the same day as what we just said, maybe?
No, because that's before my recovery court, so hold on. How about, I can do October 18th at 8:15.
That is good, thank you, Annie.
All right, so Ms. Adams will change that to October 18th at 8:15 in the morning. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna check, are conditions staying in place until?
Oh, I'm gonna talk about those.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mr. Babino, I'm gonna require that to be in person. So you gotta come here for that sentencing. And then, today I'm gonna send you over to the probation department to check in. They're gonna give you a packet to fill out and a day to come back in and meet with them, okay? So, the not guilty plea was entered on the contempt of court. You're gonna talk to Mr. Coast today and you're gonna set up drug testing.
Yes.
And you're gonna go, and if you test positive, I'm gonna issue a bench warrant for you, all right?
Yes.
And then you would just sit in jail till sentencing.
Yes.
All right, if you don't have a prescription for a medication, it's a crime to use it. Do you understand it?
I didn't know
That,
that.
all right. And then if you have a medical marijuana card, you need to provide that to Mr. Coast.
I'm working on that.
If you don't have it, don't smoke it.
Right. I'm just working on getting the card again.
Wait, you don't have a medical marijuana
No,
card?
I do, but I lost the actual physical.
Okay, well, you better get that to
Yeah,
Mr. Coast.
Yes.
All right, and if you fail to comply, your bond conditions still remain in place. So you need to comply with those. And then if you don't comply with those and get Mr. Coast what he needs, understand, I can issue a bench warrant for you again, you're sitting in jail till sentencing.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
Your Honor, a few things. For the contempt of court, is that on the same day as sentencing?
You're gonna send a memo in on your whether or not you think it's a contempt of court. And then once I review those, I'll decide whether or not I'm gonna set it for another day.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I also think that I'd like to argue the facts of the offense itself. So it's sort of a legal argument as well as a factual. So would we have a hearing on 10/18?
So I just want you to submit a brief.
That's fine.
And then Ms. McClure will respond, and then I'll review them. If I determine it's not a contempt of court, I'll dismiss it. If I am not swayed, I will set it for a court date.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Well, sort of. I mean, the reason why I'm pushing back a little bit is because part of the argument that it's not a part of the argument that it's not a contempt is that it.
All right, I can also just revoke his bond for failure to comply with bond conditions. So I'll wait for your memo and we'll discuss it further. All right.
Okay. And regarding the drug testing, he does live in Jackson. I'm wondering if Mr. Coast would.
Mr. Coast had been willing to help set him up in Jackson. He just never reported. So Mr. Coast will discuss that with him.
Okay. And then lastly, again, him living in Jackson, I'm wondering that at the time of sentencing, if transfer of probation would be available to Jackson.
We automatically do that. So, yeah,
Well,
not a
it's
problem.
not at the time of sentencing. We have to have it approved through Jackson and just a process for it that he's going to have to comply with.
Yeah, we automatically do that, but Jackson may not accept them, but I don't think we've ever had a case where they don't. I don't know.
Right.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
No, thank you.
All right, so Mr. Babino, go talk to Mr. Coast.
Just 1 second. What have I done? Do we see this? We see this. Yay.
To show you this video. I told Lone Wolf I would show you.
Birthday. Victoria said I needed to give you a shout out because it's your birthday, and I'm giving you a shout out because Victoria said it's your birthday, and I needed to say happy birthday. So happy birthday. If I didn't, McCracken, Phil McCracken, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Phil.
He just
Everybody
realizes
say,
it.
everybody say happy birthday, Phil.
Look at him.
I feel like I'm getting punked. I don't.
So he made a short of it.
That's funny.
He said he would make
I
a
love
short
that guy.
if I promised to show you the video.
That's funny.
I have to show you.
It's so funny. I think it's so funny. I'm sorry. I brief intermission to show off my other work. I think it's hilarious. I laugh at this stuff way too much. Here we go.
Wait, we're ready on you. Let's do yours.
We're almost to the P. Diddy case.
All right, sorry about that. Mr. Rmer, you want to come up? Last but not least, Mr. Rmer, but all right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Shane. You go by Leroy, right? All right. My husband always says, no, I'm Leroy. So Leroy Rmer, file number 23-21665 FH, Ron Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Rmer, and Amanda Wagner appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time scheduled for hearing on a motion to quash information and motion to dismiss. So, Ms. Underwood, are you ready to proceed?
I'm ready to proceed, Your Honor, but,
Your Honor, so it looks like this was stamped and received on July 26th. I didn't receive it on my desk until midweek last week, and it wasn't placed on my schedule either. So, but I've reviewed it in the last few minutes, and I think that I would be comfortable responding at this point. I guess I would just ask that if the court has further questions after we're done arguing, that we perhaps set it out so that I have an adequate amount of time to respond to Ms. Underwood's motion.
Do you want a week or two to respond?
I mean, I would.
I'd like to have them in writing for cases of appeal.
Yes, I would prefer that if the court's willing.
Ms. Underwood?
I would leave that to the court's discussion.
All right. Obviously, you know, these motions to quash, if they're denied, I don't know if it would be, can come back on appeal. So I do like when we have things in writing. So, let's see.
Your Honor, just to make it a little easier while you're looking for a date, I don't know if we're able to do it within the next week, but I am leaving for vacation on the 15th and I won't be back until the 26th.
I can do it. Mr. Walti is off, so I can do this at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, August 14, next week.
11 o'clock, August
14, after we finish our criminal docket, 11 o'clock.
Thank you.
Ms. Adams, could I get a notice for Mr. Rmer for August 14 at 11?
Okay.
So, thank you for your patience. And we will see you back on August 14 at 11. And we're gonna do the notice because I wanna make sure he has a notice before he leaves.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So just have a seat right behind you and we'll get that notice to you. So we'll wait for that for just a moment. Derek Lee Cardello Smith, sir.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cardello Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records, label owner, founder, also known as Puff P. Daddy, Bad Boy, Diddy Run the City, Sean Combs, also known as Sean Puffy Combs. And this is file number 24-7362NO. I'll grab your paperwork here real quick out of this other paperwork. We do have Mr. Cardello Smith appearing from the Michigan Department of Corrections. Sir, where are you currently located?
I'm located at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility, 2500 South Sheridan Drive, Muskegon, Michigan, 49444, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Or Your Honor.
Thank you. So I do see that we do have a proof of service on Mr. Combs, but for purposes of this hearing, you filed a motion for a temporary restraining order and or a preliminary injunction to stop all sales of the property and assets attached to or involved with said property based on the interest of plaintiff and plaintiff's connections to defendant's sexual assault of plaintiff Derek Lee Cardello Smith, requiring a preliminary injunction and or a temporary restraining order. We did set that for hearing today, and luckily the Brooks Correctional Facility was able to make you available. Actually, they had to drive someone up today on another case. So, sir, I have received your motion and a proposed order. Do you wish to argue the motion today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed then.
Okay, the purpose of it is based on two actions taken by Mr. Combs himself, directly with me here. We did a live one-on-one visit in our prison visiting room. There's two meetings within the past 2 weeks with Mr. Combs on one meeting, and then a financial advisor on the other meeting on Mr. Combs' behalf. And he stated that he would make me an offer to end the case and what happened to me because of other things that he stated he has going on in his life that require his money right now, and he wants to sell everything off. And he made me a financial offer of $2.3 million to allow what happened to me to go away. And he stated that he's going to be selling his property, and under the 2005 California Civil Code 2881-2885, the creation of liens, which allows out-of-state justices and orders to cause a stop of any title transfer, property transfers in Los Angeles or any other place that he has property. He stated that he wouldn't be able to proceed with that sale. And he did it the day after I served him the suit. And he also said that he won't be filing an answer to the complaint. He said, you can find me in default or whatever. He has a better chance with default than he would with having a restraining order stop. And I said, so you want to hide you want to hide your money and stop from being quite possibly paid to me if I'm given the benefit of a judgment in my favor for what you've done to me. And he pretty much said, yeah. He goes, you know how we get down. And I said, okay, well, I disagree with how you get down. Your sale shouldn't go through.
So I'm gonna, hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Cardello Smith. Okay, so you went in a different direction than I thought you were going into. I thought we were just gonna focus. No.
We are.
You kind of went off on a different direction than what your actual motion was.
Yeah.
So what I just want to say is settlement negotiations.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
In this case, are probably better not. Yeah, they're not to be placed on the record today. Okay.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. You're not an attorney. I understand that. So if we can just backtrack and focus just on your motion.
I get what you want.
Okay, thank you.
If he's allowed to sell his property that he has in LA and the properties that are in his name being used and held by other people in Michigan, then it will cause me harm because I can be tied directly to those properties through loans and through other areas of investment that I did when I was out there and while in prison through money that I've sent. And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or a restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid his responsibility in these matters here. That's what a temporary restraining order would do. It would prevent that from happening. Because it's a very serious matter. It involves a lot of money. And him selling this would help him avoid his liability for these actions done upon me. And I was just hoping that I'd be able to get the restraining order to prevent that. There won't be any harm to him, any of the parties. There won't be any harm to him in any way. And if it's deemed that it's not justified, then he can go ahead and go through with the sale at the end of the case. But one has to be put in place to stop this from happening.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm just looking back through your complaint.
Yes.
right, I'm gonna check one more of your filings. So I'm gonna step off the bench for 2 seconds and I'll be right back, all right?
Yes, Judge Anzalone.
Thank you.
You with the defense?
No, sir. I'm having a hearing and they stopped the hearing so you could be heard.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're
Nice
welcome.
tie.
Thank you.
Mhm. Couldn't wear one. They don't give us ties.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Right. Yeah, there is.
But they have clip-ons, you know.
Yeah. Clip-ons are the best, aren't they?
All right, so thank you, sir. Is there anything else you wish to add?
I was just, first off, just thank you for giving me the hearing and thank you for setting a pretrial on this matter. Thank you, Your Honor. There were
You're
some
welcome.
other filings, that you should have gotten. I didn't know if that's one of the filings you could have been referring to.
So I received your complaint and all the attachments to it. And then I received this motion. And I just wanted to take a moment to review back through the US District Civil Docket and your complaint. So I did do that. That's all. And,
Yes.
okay. Anything else?
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in, every bit of it, every facet.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a proof of service showing that Mr. Combs was served on July 6th of 2000 and let me see, is that 24?
Yes, Your Honor.
Looks like it. 2024 return receipt requested was provided. So there is proper service. Mr. Combs has neither appeared nor responded to this request. So I'm going to grant your motion for a preliminary injunction temporary restraining order and order that the defendant and their agents are hereby enjoined temporarily for a period of 90 days from the sale, transfer, or exchange, trade, or transaction of title or deed to the property listed as the address and placed on the market by defendants for the amount of $70 million. And this property and estate belonging to or connected to defendant Sean Combs shall cease and desist any and all trades, transactions, or otherwise stop the process of any further actions on this property being continued. And this shall have an immediate effect. I'm going to date this August 7th of 2024. And I am going to sign this. And we are set for a pretrial date on Monday, September 9th of 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Is there
Your Honor?
anything else? Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Your Honor. First off, thank you very much, ma'am. The second thing is, under the summons rules and the court rules of service, Mr. Combs, the defendant, had 28 days after he was served by mail, 21 if it's regular process service. His 28th day was the August 3rd, and there was no answer on the default. And I understand that I have to motion verbally or in writing, whichever one you prefer however you prefer, to have default judgment entered. And today is literally the 28, 9, 30, 31, 32nd day, I believe. And I'd like to either preserve the issue of default judgment or judgment in my favor based on failure to answer,
Okay.
whichever Your Honor would like.
All right, thank you. Typically, we require that, Ms. McGrain. Is
How
Ms.
would you spell her
in
name, Your Honor?
Oh, no, hold on, I'm talking to my judicial attorney. Typically, we require the, motion for the affidavit and motion for default be filed. So Ms. Adams, is Ms. McGrain in her office?
She is not. I'm going to go find her right now, Judge.
Okay.
I know,
hold
I
on.
read that rule. I read the rule, Your Honor. MCR 2.603 governs that. And it said the party can do it in front of the trial court judge or by mail. Whatever you want.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me get that. Usually we require it. Can you hear her, Mr. Sala? Ms. McGrain marching down the hallway. She sounds like a herd of cats. All right. Okay, so, sir, the court rule that you're referring to, it's not a trial date, so I think I'm right. So you're gonna have to file the affidavit and request for default, okay?
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
And obviously you'll be able to file that before a pretrial date anyway, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so
All right,
the order
so-
was granted?
The order, your ex parte motion was granted, or your motion for a temporary restraining order was granted. I've signed it. And so we'll get that processed and back to you, and then you'll have to obviously serve that on the parties.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Can your order
All right.
say any, Your Honor, can you add on your order any Michigan representatives of him acting on his behalf for Michigan properties as well as part of that order? Or does your order cover everything?
You provided the order, so I'm going off.
Yes,
the
I did.
order.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I'm going off the order you provided to me, and I've signed
Okay,
that order
that's-
already.
That's what I
Okay.
needed. Thank you. All right,
All
thank you,
right,
Your Honor.
thank you, Mr. Cardello Smith, and we'll make sure the writ's done, and we'll see you back in September. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless. All right.
Thank you.
Said a herd of cats. I love that.
She's heavy footed. I always know when she's coming around the corner.
Linus, you're right in time for the very end of the show. And I don't even have a place to redirect everybody to. I don't know if Mike is even still on. I don't know what's going on that side of the world. I stopped paying attention. Probably a good thing. I can look. Well, people, it's been an amazing live stream. I've had a lot of fun. Do we want some more Lone Wolf Inception? Is that something we're interested in? It would be funny. It would be funny to end the show on Lone Wolf Inception, I think. Oh, we've moved past the Lone Wolf Inception portion of the show. That's cool. That's cool. Anyway, it's been a fun show. Judge Anzalone is always interesting. She's a great judge. I thought the P. Diddy case was immensely interesting. I wonder if the guy actually has any real association with Puff Daddy. From what I was seeing in the chat, it looks like probably not, that he might be some type of next level vexatious litigant. Well, I guess we can keep an eye out for Judge Anzalone on September 9th and see what the continuance of that story might be. In the meantime, I do want to let everybody know that I do have stuff set up for Judge Manning. Manic Monday will be happening on Monday, It may not be a live show. It may be more of a premiere because I have some real world, business things to do. But we'll see how that goes down. In any case, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I do this every week on Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I plan on continue doing it as long as I know, as long as I can have the stuff to do it, and as long as I have the will to do it. I'll be here doing it. It's fun, and I love watching these cases with you people. It's cool. Appreciate everybody coming out. I'll be seeing you next time. Come by for Manic Monday. Come by next Saturday. Keep an eye out on the channel for new videos. I'll be putting them out every day. Multiple every day. It's gonna be some good stuff. Love you all so very much. I'm your Lone Wolf Usul. I'm your curator. I'll see you next time. Have a good Saturday. Oh. Colin's happening in like 30 minutes in case you're looking for something else to watch. Go watch Colin. Colin in 30 minutes. I'm not doing the Ferris Bueller thing, so you can go ahead and leave. Bye. Thank you, Dreams. You're amazing. What did you say, Mom? Okay. Y'all have a good day, everybody.